What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back to do, and just like that, Aidan's back. This is season 2, episode 7, and sorry I was not able to actually do all the episodes, but this is a pivotal one. So we are here to discuss February 14th. This is episode 207, and the synopsis reads: Carrie ponders the significance of her upcoming dinner with Aidan. A newly single Miranda explores possibilities of dating again. And yes, y'all, we are going to get into all the details because guess what? This is a spoiler-filled recap. So get your drinks. I'm not going to hold you here for a long time, but we're going to have a good time while we're here, okay? So let's just go ahead and get on into it. And so the episode opens with these sit-down conversations, honey. These are the most hilarious conversations. I always have a great time with them. They're always like super funny. The girls play off each other and bounce off each other so well. Anyway, we're talking about Aidan. This email that she got, he responded back. He said he was going to be in town for a meeting and he asked her to dinner on Thursday. And what is Thursday, you ask? Thursday is Valentine's Day. And so, of course, Charlotte is going overly crazy about the idea. And she basically tells Carrie that she thinks that he's not in a relationship and he did this on purpose. It was intentional. And Carrie was like, I don't even think he knows it's Valentine's Day. And she was like, well, if he doesn't know it's not Valentine's Day, then obviously he's not in a relationship. And so they're pondering over all these things. The next thing you know, Miranda starts talking about her situation and her not having anybody. And they're like, are you looking on, who's the next lady on the horizon? And she's like, why do you presume it's going to be a lady? And they was like, why would you not presume it's going to be a lady? And that is a really good question. It's really a good question, because sometimes later on in life, women are attracted to other women, and then they explore that, and then you don't know what you are. You don't know, just call it fluid. Just call it fluid. So you don't know what you're looking for. She said that she's attracted to the person, and she said Che was non-binary, so it's not like she was really looking for a woman, but it just so happened that it worked out to be like that. And then so she was like, I don't even know if I'm gay. They don't, so they're having this little existential crisis where they're trying to figure out what they want to do, how they want to proceed moving forward and stuff like that. So I just thought it was hilarious. So love the scene. Honey child, let's just get into this storyline of Herbert Jr. First of all, I don't like the name. I was getting ready to call him HJ, but that don't even sound right either. So anyway, Herbert Jr., whatever. So he has this little snowflake as his girlfriend, and they look like they are very, not sexually active, but they look like they are sexually curious. And so on that front, we'll go ahead and just leave it at that. There is a situation where the mom is having a situation with the son, and she's saying that she's not being uptight. She's just saying that the girl has no boundaries and she doesn't really like her. So the father tells him to bring the girl over on Valentine's Day to their house while they are out at dinner. And LTW was like, absolutely the fuck not. And she was like, you just go ahead and just let them have sex on our bed, because you know that's what they're going to do. So then she makes this elaborate scheme to take a picture, fold up the bed, make up the bed, and take a picture so she'll know exactly how it was done and all this stuff. So she does all this. They end up coming back from dinner, checking out everything, and lo and behold, she's not in the bed. And she said, oh, maybe she found me out. But she is in her goddamn closet. And baby, you know that is a double whammy. So on top of being on my bad side, bitch, get out of my goddamn closet. I just wanted to take a picture with the bag. She was like, no. The snowflake is a habitual line stepper, and I basically think that they wrote this specifically for this black boy and the white girl and the dynamics of her white privilege. So I think that's what is going on here, but let me know in the comments if I'm reading that wrong. LTW tells her husband Herbert, you better get your son. You better get him, because if you don't get him, I'ma kill him. You know what I'm saying? And the father was like, son, you are on your own. He says sex is one thing, but going in your mother's closet, absolutely not. Can y'all tell me why I love Seema's character so much? I love Seema. She's always on point. She always has a mature, she has a clear view of who she is. She is very self-assured. She's very confident. I just love me some Seema. She reminds me so much of the Samantha character, and so I do think that they have a very good grasp on writing her character, who they know, who they want her to play, and she does a fantabulous job. So she's going on this, so Carrie is going on this thing about how nervous she is about Aidan, and she says she's going to get her a massage. She's going to, work all this stuff out. And she gets to the massage thing. And she is like, okay, my friend needs a massage. And she was like, it's a holiday. And so we're only doing a couple massages today. And she was like, excuse me, what holiday are you referring to? Because all the banks are open. Everything is still, there is no holiday going on. She's like, oh no, we're just talking about the Valentine's Day. We're just trying to honor the couples, and you can understand that, right? And she was like, what I'm trying to do is understand why I'm so irate right now. Because listen, you can't just be sitting up here discriminating against somebody because they don't have a goddamn partner. On Valentine's Day, my friend needs a massage. And so, girl, she reads her rights and tells her that she's going to Yelp on this thing. Child, Anthony is so funny to me. He gets a phone call from somebody from Drew Barrymore's camp about the bread basket that he sent to her. She loved it. She wanted him to come on the show. And he is excited. He's like, who delivered the basket? And the dude was like, he did. And then next thing you know, he was like, oh, okay. So, he got all these hot fellas working for him, delivering these bread baskets. And then next thing you know, he sees him shooting up some HGH, human growth hormone, if you don't know what that is. And he was like, what the hell is going on? He was like, my calves are underperforming. And he was like, no, I run a clean ship here. You can't do this. You can't, this is, we can't do this. And obviously all the men look like bufferinos. So they're all using. So he said, if anybody is doing this, you gotta go. And then everybody leaves. And he's looking like he is shit out of luck. Now, honey, you remember Charlotte was tasked with getting Romeo from a poetry store. She was tasked to recruit him for the hot fellas thing for Anthony. She takes a picture of him. He's like, I have to have him. And child, he puts on the uniform. And honey, that print was printing. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me that whole thing about Nick Cannon when he came out on daytime TV. And baby, let me tell you, Drew Barrymore almost lost her damn mind. I was cracking up. They was just doing so many different jokes. I'm going to just let it play so you can get kind of the gist of what was happening here. But I just thought it was hilarious.
Oh my God, that is a big basket. It has all my bread selections. Big basket. Big basket. Giuseppe. That's adorable, isn't he? And much like our audience, who started with a sourdough starter in the pandemic, so did you.
Yes, I did, but it got out of that Tupperware and it just kept on growing.
How big do you think it's going to get?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm surprised it's this big.
I think it's going to be huge.
Honey, Charlotte went full-blown momager. What are they called? Dance moms. She has gotten such a big head because Rock was such a big success, and she seems to be blowing up. And so she goes into this agency, and I guess, you know, they make you wait. You know what I'm saying? You're there. They're doing you a favor. You know what I'm saying? So they're not rushing. She said, I guess she double booked Rock, and she's like, I need to be seen right now. So she's having a full-on fit. Rock says she doesn't want to do it anymore. She said, you know, your behavior was kind of gross, Mom, and it's not fun for me anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And then she was like, well, what about all the time and money that I invested? What about all of these things? It was too funny. When Rock called her out, she was like, I must have been a little hyperglycemic. I was cracking up. It's the lines for me. Then we move over to Lily. Lily, she got broken up with about 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. She's very ungrateful about, you know, Charlotte letting her have a fuck the boys party. You know what I'm saying? The F the boys party. Got Taylor Swift full blown playing in the background, anti-hero. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. So we get to see Lily kind of rushing Charlotte off and just kind of being really ungrateful or whatever. I hate it. I hate it so much. These kids are the pits. But not before Charlotte eats a homemade brownie that was brought over by one of Lily's new girlfriends. Okay, honey, next thing you know, Charlotte and Harry are at the restaurant trying to get in and be seated, and baby, the edible kicked in. That edible kicked in, and Charlotte was a complete disaster and a complete mess. Talking about she can feel her blood. She talking about she about to have a stroke. Am I about to have a stroke? Baby, when I tell you, I rewatched that part over and over and over again. It was so funny. Honey, she done scared the hell out of Harry. He's like, call the ambulance. The ambulance come. Child, they're in the hospital. She was like, he said, you do have some THC in your blood. And she was like, THC? He was like, she wouldn't even take a Tylenol PM. You gotta be mistaken. And she was like, oh my God, Harry, I think I ate a brownie and it might have had. He said, okay, Space Kate. A lot of people your age don't know how to navigate the feelings of, you know, being high off of edible. Honey, too funny. I enjoyed that scene so much. Then Charlotte is sitting in the bed and she's telling Harry, she was like, my life flashed before my eyes and I did not like the way it felt. I don't like the way it looked. My children are growing up and I have to get back to me. You know, she took a really big chunk of her life and based it on how society wants you to, you know, the husband, the house, the picket fence, the 2.5 children, and all of the things. She took the bull by the horn and went full blown into parenthood. And a lot of people always do that and they forget about themselves. And she says she needs to get back to her. So I say kudos, and I'm so happy for Charlotte to come to that realization. Okay, Miranda. She is going and getting herself back out there. She needs to find out whether or not she's gay or if she is Che gay. Okay, so after her big breakup with Steve and Che, she runs into this hot lesbian audiobook narrator named Amelia Carsey, and she reads Jane Austen's audiobooks. where, you know, Miranda used to jog all the time. And so they set up a date, a Valentine's Day dinner. And yeah, so unluckily for Miranda, child, she goes over there looking hot. I said, okay, Miranda, I see you, boo. Child, it's one of those things where you meet someone and everything looks nice, and then like immediately the mask falls off. Like the mask was totally off on the first date. And I said, what the fuck? Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? How did the whole mask come off? We find out that she is a slob with a tiny apartment with dirty sheets, an evil cat named Pickles that is trying to like attack Miranda. And then, you know, they're kissing. Miranda, she tried to get past it. She tried to get through it. She tried to like bear through it because she was really, really attracted to her. But it just didn't work. It didn't work. It just didn't work. The lady, Amelia, ended up stepping to her cat litter box. I was like, ugh, she's a slob. I am so embarrassed. I was like, oh no, Miranda, like she wasted a good a good dress, girl. She looked so good. Looked like she was ready. And I was just like, oh man, that kind of sucks. And so she's talking to Carrie, and the lady just leaves, talking about, do you have some quarters? And she leaves to go wash the sheets. And I said, what the fuck? Girl, why aren't y'all at a restaurant? Why didn't y'all go do something else? Why aren't you at a hotel? Why aren't you doing something else? Who has a first date over somebody's apartment? And then with your apartment looking like that, girl, if you don't get out of here, that would have been a one and done. And Amelia, she was so nice looking. I mean, I guess she was at a showcase and stuff like that, but oh man, it just kind of sucks. So 56-year-old Miranda says the dating scene still sucks, but I can just go home. And that's what she do. She get up and she takes her ass the fuck home. So Carrie goes to where she thinks the date is at. She arrives 8:07, fashionably late, of course. She's greeted by a table for two with no ex-boyfriend sitting there. She's looking around. 30 minutes later, she's wondering if she's been stood up. So next thing you know, she texts Aidan. Aidan texts her. He said, gave her the address again. She went to the host and said, is this the right address? He said, no, next door. So then she dashes next door. She meets Aidan standing in the street, tall and handsome as ever. They share a long hug, and Aidan says to her, when I'm with you, it's just like 10 years. And then he just kind of snaps his fingers, as he trails off into that thought. It's a touching reunion, of course, with Carrie's the one who got away. The night ends with the two of them from a cab ride, and I guess they were so enthralled with each other during the car ride that they didn't even realize that we were coming full circle back to Carrie's apartment. 2 decades where their whole relationship fell apart. Aidan starts to get triggered. He gets cold feet. And when he's confronted with the apartment where all of his and Carrie's skeletons lie and still live. And she's like, well, it doesn't even look the same. I painted, I put a wallpaper, things look different. And Aidan just says, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm not going in there with all of that again. And I was like, oh my God, he is triggered. But one wide-eyed look from Carrie gets them back on the same page. Then Aidan was kind of like walking away, and he's like in the street. I was like, oh my God, is he about to like just walk off and really get cold feet? Then he says, fuck it. This is New York. They have hotels, right? And so they embrace and kiss. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you, Lord. Because I was so, y'all, when I tell y'all I was so nervous when I saw him getting triggered And I was like, oh my God, like this was going so incredibly well. And, you know, I think Carrie handled it really well. And I was just like, I'm so glad that he's back. I hope he stays back. And yeah, y'all, because he is the one who got away. She was never supposed to be with Big. Never. But you know, when you're young, they say you always go for the bad boy, and then you leave the good boy in the wind. And that's all I kept hearing Miranda saying this episode. He's a good guy. See, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And see, I think that is the messaging that the writers and the creators had about, you know, getting the bad boy, then, you know, something happening and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about when Aidan said, you know, he was really sorry to hear about what happened to Big. He called him John, of course. He said he wanted to reach out, but he couldn't. He didn't want to. He wanted to, but he didn't want to. And so he was really conflicted. He said he read the book. He said it was very sad and very beautiful. She said, yes, it was very sad, but it wasn't so beautiful. Not to her. But, you know, when you kind of read someone else's grief, it reads a little differently. And then we already heard her do a reading of the excerpt of, you know, her being a widow and her, you know, recreating and retelling that story. And it was really put in a very beautiful way. And that's what they talked about at the in the red booth. So that was the conversation with that. But I'm so glad they got back on the same page. And yeah, just like that, Aidan's back, y'all. Y'all let me know how you felt about the episode. Please leave a comment. Are you team Big or were you team Aidan? Okay? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I'm Nita, your favorite diva. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and you make sure you come back. Bye, y'all. Mwah.